Hey, cameraman, I'm up here. And we are back with another installment of FishLocked, my series where I play World of Warcraft and I only do fishing content with the goal of collecting every fishing achievement as well as every other collectible, including mounts, pets, toys, transmogs, whatever there is from fishing, I want to get it. And as always, be sure you've watched the previous episodes to fully understand how we're playing and how we got to where we are. Last episode, we fished all over Northrend, and we're still technically not done there yet. I'm still going to be going back there for daily quests, both for XP and reputation. But in today's episode, we're going to be heading both into Cataclysm and Mists of Pandaria expansion zones, as well as fishing up some stuff in the old world as well. Now we have one main goal today. I want the sea turtle mount, and I want it bad. Originally, this mount came out in Wrath of the Lich King and exclusively dropped from fishing pools in Northrend, but the sea turtle achievement says that it can also drop in Cataclysm zones as well as Pandaria. So I will be hunting for this thing because I refuse to go to Warlords of Draenor without this sea turtle. Now, before we head into Cataclysm though, I had some loose ends I wanted to tie up here in the old world first. In the last episode, we met Nat Pagel at his place in Duskwalla Marsh, and we got his quest to catch rare fish in 4 different zones in the world. And well, we had no luck last time, but I headed back to STV because I wasn't backing down from this quest. And for a while, I was still struggling, but eventually somehow it clicked what I was doing wrong. I was running around fishing in the pools of STV and Swamp of Sorrows in the last episode, and even now a little bit. But the fish that we needed to catch here were not in the pools. They were only caught in the open water. So once I switched to doing that, I pretty much immediately caught the Savage Coast Blue Sailfin. And then I moved into Swamp of Sorrows, where I caught the Misty Reed Mahi Mahi. I hope I say these things right. There's tons of stuff in this game I don't know how to pronounce properly. Now, we are going to finish this quest, don't worry, but I needed to go on a little detour since I was already nearby. There was another achievement called the Fishing Diplomat, and in this achievement, you needed to catch fish in both Orgrimmar and Stormwind. Of course, we've already done plenty of fishing in Orgrimmar, but I needed to catch just one thing in Stormwind for this achievement. So I ran over from Swamp of Sorrows, and when I got to the city gates, of course, the guards killed me. Twice, actually. And as a Horde character, the run back from the graveyard was terrible. It was like on the far side of the Elwyn Forest. It was multiple minutes of a run back. But eventually I got to a spot where no guards could get to me. I fished, and I got the achievement. Now that this detour was over, though, we can get back to Nat Pagel's quest. So I headed back to Kalimdor, and we went to Desolace, where in Desolace we caught the Sarthoris Striker. After that, we moved just one zone south into Feralus to catch the Feralus Ahi, which would now complete the quest, so I headed back to Nat Pagel, and for completing the quest, we got Nat's Lucky Fishing Pole, which is actually worse than our jeweled fishing pole, but, you know, we gotta collect them all. And by the way, it was Sunday. And on Sundays, Booty Bay holds a weekly fishing extravaganza. So I headed over to Booty Bay, and I waited until 2 o'clock for the event to start. And once it started, I got a world quest to catch 40 speckled tasty fish. And I had to be quick because only the first 50 people per region to catch and turn in the 40 fish would get a prize. And I'm at a disadvantage from everybody else because nobody else is playing a stupid made-up game mode like me, probably. And because of my game mode, I don't have a flying mount. And to be honest, I'm not too sure if I'll ever get a flying mount in this challenge. I don't know if there is one, but we'll see. So I start running around the coast and I'm hitting every fishing pool. And I was a bit nervous that I was even going to crack the top 50. Because when the chat announced that someone had claimed first place, I didn't even have half the amount of fish that I needed. But I kept rushing up and down the shore, and as soon as I hit 40 fish, I hearthstoned back to Booty Bay, and I went to turn in, but I had to pick a prize, and there was quite a few cool-looking prizes here. But the one I went with was the Boots of the Bay, because, you know, Booty Bay. These would give me plus 10 fishing skill when they were equipped and would have a Booty Bay teleport with a 1-day cooldown on it. And I think I might have been exactly number 50 to finish because when I turned in, the goblin announced that the fishing extravaganza was over for the week. And we would also get the Master Angler of Azeroth achievement for this. And I also caught a bonus rare fish that when I turned it in, they gave me another pair of fishing boots, but the Boots of the Bay were way better. The fishing derby was great. I actually really like this. I'm going to be here probably every week until I get every item, so if you're ever free on Sundays, you might be able to find me here at Booty Bay. I might even stream when I'm going to be there, so, go follow my Twitch. Now, before we move into Cataclysm zones, there was one more thing I wanted to do. Well, technically it's two things, but we're going to be doing the same thing to get them both. In the first episode, I noticed the achievements Old Crafty and Old Iron Jaw, which were to catch these two rare fish. Old Crafty could be caught in Orgrimmar, and Old Iron Jaw could be caught in Ironforge. I wasted no time and I got to it. I'm not sure how long total it took of me fishing in Orgrimmar to get Old Crafty because, one, I wasn't always recording fishing in Orgrimmar. We've been fishing in Orgrimmar since episode 1, so I'm not going back and counting all the hours. On this specific day, after about 2 or 3 hours of dedicated fishing here, I got Old Crafty. Now for Old Iron Jaw, this would be a little more tough because we would have to get into Ironforge, more specifically in the very back of Ironforge. I already did 2 very long runbacks just to barely get into the entrance of Stormwind, and I didn't want another experience like that, but way worse in Ironforge. So I called back up the guy who helped us in episode 1, and I asked him if he could give me another ride again. And he agreed. He took me and he dropped me off in the back of Stormwind. And it was like a top secret mission flying in here through the top. And surprisingly, he dropped me off in the back of Ironforge and left completely undetected. No deaths at all here. And all I had to do was just hope that nobody saw me here fishing. And luckily, it only took me 1 hour of fishing here, and I got Old Iron Jaw. With these done, I felt like I was finally good to head into some Cataclysm zones. So I headed to my favorite zone of the expansion, Oldham. And, I always just loved this place, especially when I was a kid. It's got this big, long river that goes down the whole zone, too, so I kind of just fished up and down the river all the way until I hit 75 Cataclysm fishing and got the achievement for it. Now on this same day, I was also doing my dailies when the Dalaran daily quest got me a toy called the Unusual Compass, so that's cool. This same run of daily quests also got me to level 30, and being level 30 now, I had a feeling that maybe Old Man Barlow in Outland had his quests opened up. And I was right. The first quest he gave me was Shrimpin' Ain't Easy, but it was pretty easy to me. I just went over to Zangarmarsh, caught some fat bloated fish, and when you cut them open, there's shrimp inside. And turning in the quest gives no XP, but it gives bags of loot. They were good enough for me. Heading back to Azeroth, though, there were 2 achievements I was after next: the Limonologist and the Oceanographer. And these achievements were just to catch a bunch of fish that could be found all over Azeroth, both in Cataclysm and Classic zones. And I already had a bit of both of these achievements done already from just fishing all over, but there was still fish that we needed all over the place. So our adventure here started in Deep Holum, and then went to Deadwind Pass, then Tearsfall Glades, Mount Hyjal, Shadowmoon Valley, Twilight Highlands, Loch Modan, Western Plaguelands, Dalaran, Wintergrasp, and Hajara, but eventually I got it and both of the achievements were done. Now I was kind of ready to move into Pandaria fishing at this point, but I felt like I didn't really give Cataclysm fishing enough love. And well, maybe Blizzard didn't give Cataclysm fishing enough love, but I also think they added a lot of these achievements during Cataclysm that are in the old world, like in the city. But to give Cataclysm just a little more love, I just made sure I fished in every zone there. I almost fished in all of them already, but just did a little extra love in Vashj'ir and Tol Barad. And when it comes to my favorite spot to fish in Cataclysm zones, it's the World Tree. Well, I guess right under the World Tree, Nordrassil, where we have this really awesome pond, and do I even have to explain this pick? But now, let's move on to Mists of Pandaria. Now, even after turning on Pandaria time walking at Chromie, the portal to Pandaria, it didn't open up. So I was going to have to do the expansion intro quests, and I tried running off as soon as I spawned in the Jade Forest, but they wouldn't let me jump off the ship, so one quest later, though, I was free. I abandoned all the rest of the quests I had, and I ran off because I knew exactly where I needed to head first. I ran through the Jade Forest, into the Valley of Four Winds, and from there, I was just going to start fishing in the schools that were on the way to where I was going. And while I was doing this, I caught a fish that had a quest. And this quest was to send me to where I was already heading, the Angler's Wharf, to see our friend, Nat Pagle. Well, I guess he's not really our friend yet, because in Mists of Pandaria, Nat Pagal has his own friendship reputation, where if you give him rare fish every day, we'll slowly gain friendship with Nat and be able to get some rewards eventually. The quest fish that we caught on the way was one of 3 quest fish that we can catch and turn into Nat Pagal every single day. But Nat, he's not the only one there. This is the Angler's Wharf, where the Anglers faction has quests for us to do every day to gain reputation and earn tons of fishing rewards from them. These rewards include a spider mount, a fishing raft, a dragon fishing pole, and some other stuff too. The first set of dailies here had me swimming around, opening up clams, killing a bunch of crabs, and throwing some spears at fish. Unlike the Northrend fishing dailies though, these did rotate every day with a total of 14 different quests, which had an achievement to complete all of them, so I would be doing these every day until we got this achievement, and until we get exalted with the anglers themselves. And once again, like I said in the last episode, I'm going to be doing these every day, even if I don't mention every time I do them. I stayed here in the southern shore of Pandaria for a while, just fishing until I got up to 75 Pandaria fishing skill, which would give me the achievement. And I also wanted to go for the Pandaria Angler achievement. Seems like every expansion has a similar achievement where you just catch different fish in the different zones. And that's what we did. And doing this would send me to pretty much every zone to fish in Pandaria. We headed back to Jade Forest, the Dread Wastes, the Town Long Steppes, Kunlai Summit, and we even needed to get into Vale of Eternal Blossoms, but I didn't actually know how to get into it because the gate was closed and I wasn't too sure of an entrance spot. But eventually running around, I did find a spot that I could use my disengage and sprint abilities to, well, get over the gate myself. Yep, that's right. I hopped the border in World of Warcraft. And the final fish I ended up getting was the Spinefish Alpha in Kunlai Summit, giving me the Pandaria Angler achievement. The next day in Dalaran though, I had a quest to fish up some jewelry in the sewer, and this was the last Dalaran achievement I hadn't done yet, so turning this in gave me the Chasing the Marika achievement. Get it? Because the quest giver's name is Marika Chase. And I also got this crab pet. That's pretty cool, I guess. Anyways, I was doing a daily quest for Old Man Barlow when I realized I was now level 40. I was getting about 1 to 2 levels a day from the Orgrimmar, Northrend, and Pandaria dailies. But being level 40 now, I could probably go into Burning Crusade raids and be alright. Because if you remember in the first episode, we left one achievement behind, the Lurker Above. And this was to fish up a raid boss in the Serpent Shrine Cavern raid. So I headed there and yeah, I was right. I ran through the raid to where the boss was, I fished him up, got the achievement, and I killed him in one hit. The same day as this, the Darkmoon Faire was also in town. And I knew there had to be some kind of fishing to do there, so I headed over. And when I got there, I did find a fishing quest called Spoilin' for Salty Sea Dogs, but there was one small problem with this quest. It rewarded Zandalari fishing skill. So I was going to hold off on this for now, as I don't have Zandalari fishing yet. I'm not there yet in my challenge. But there was other things I wanted to fish here, don't worry. I found out about this sea pony pet that's apparently pretty low drop rate. And I also found a fishing prizes vendor who had tons of cool prizes. And the currency to buy all these prizes was the fish itself that you caught here on the island. So I was going to be fishing here for pretty much everything that they had. All the big ticket items like the mount, the toy, the pets, and I'm even going to get the cooking recipes, because I've seen y'all in the comments who wanted me to add cooking. Now I started fishing here at the dock of Darkmoon Island, and before I even caught 100 Darkmoon Daggermaw, I got that sea pony pet, which now makes pet number 5 on the FishLocked challenge. A short while after that, when I did get up to 100 Darkmoon Daggermaw, I went over to the prizes, and the first thing I bought was the Faded Treasure Map. This was a quest that sent me all over the island looking for notes that had clues leading to the next notes, and it didn't pop up on the map either. You kind of had to read the notes, or you could look it up. And this would lead me to Sila's secret stash, which inside it had a couple potions, as well as 100 Darkmoon Faire prize tickets that I'm probably never going to spend, but who knows. I kept fishing at the docks here for a while, and it was nice. There was plenty of other people fishing here, and they all had a fishing rod that looked like it was probably way better than mine, but my jeweled fishing rod still had the most swag. And after about 4 total hours of fishing here, I had enough to buy everything. I bought the cooking recipes, the toy, the pets, and our first mount of the challenge, the Dark Water Skate. But don't think I've forgotten about you, Sea Turtle. We'll be back to that soon. But the Darkmoon Faire comes back on Sundays, and if it's Sunday, that also means it's time for another fishing derby. Once again, I didn't get first place, but I did get in the top 50, so I did get to choose another prize, and this time I chose the Arcanite fishing rod. The bonus fish I got also gave me another fishing hat, but mine was already way better, so this one goes in the bank. The next day was a big one too. I was doing my fishing dailies, and today I finally hit Exalted with the Tuskar faction, the Kaluak. And this would now allow me to buy the Mastercraft Kaluak fishing pole, plus 13 fishing skill, and underwater breathing. And I also got this dope penguin pet. And now being Exalted here, I no longer have to do these dailies, because I feel like maybe I was leveling too fast. The next day after this, I was fishing up in Kunlai Summit. I usually start my fishing route up in Binan Village in Kunlai Summit for a spinefish alpha, and then I move into the ancient passageway to get the flying tiger gourami. After that, I'll go into Karasarang Wilds for the Mimic Reef Octopus, and these were the 3 fish I would be turning into Nat Pagle every day for my quest for friendship. But on this day, I was just starting out my route, and I got a little surprise.
Oh my god. I got it! Finally! Oh my gosh, I thought I was never gonna get that turtle.
Now, I didn't really show or talk about it much in this video, but I would spend a lot of time on the side fishing in pools all over Northrend to end my days. And I wasn't too sure this thing was ever going to drop, but we finally got it, and it was beautiful. At this point, though, I felt like we were playing way too much, and I needed to spend some time actually working on the videos. So for a little while, I would only log on to do my dailies, and that's it. So that way I can actually work on the series and videos can come out. But even just doing these dailies, we got a lot of progress done. We got the achievement for doing all the Orgrimmar daily quests. Moving on in the future, I'm going to be doing the Thunderbluff daily quests until I get the Thunderbluff achievement for doing all of them. And the one quest I had been waiting to do since the beginning of this challenge, Crocolisks in the City from Old Man Barlow. This quest is special because only on this quest, the bag he gives you has the chance of dropping one of 4 little crocodile pets. And I wanted one because these were always my favorite pet as a kid for some reason, so I wanted it. And this was also the only quests I hadn't done yet, so when I did it, I got his achievement, Old Man Barlowned. But this was also the last achievement I needed for the Accomplished Angler achievement, now giving me the Salty title. And maybe I can say I'm a true fisherman now, but we still have a long way to go. There's still a lot of fishing left to do in World of Warcraft. Don't think this challenge is anywhere close to over. And unfortunately, on our first attempt here, I did not get a crocodile pet. And I would also just continue to do my Pandaria dailies every single day as well. At some point, I caught this tiny white carp pet, which I thought was cool. It had to be rare or something if it took this long. But yeah, I just did my dailies every day. And eventually, we got it all done. I got the Locking Down the Docks achievement for completing all the Angler's Wharf dailies. And we also got up to Exalted with the Anglers. And even the Anglers' top man, Nat Pagle, would become my best friend. And getting all this done would give us tons of rewards, and I cannot wait to use all of these rewards in the next episode. For Pandaria, my favorite fishing spot goes to the Secret Airy, or Airy, I don't know how to pronounce it, but this nice little tucked away corner in the Jade Forest is the perfect place to come fish and chill. We got a lot done this episode, so please don't expect this much to get done every episode, especially if I'm going to be able to keep up with weekly episodes, but I'm going to try my best, okay? And make sure you follow my Twitch, where I'm going to be streaming a lot of my WoW gameplay, both fishing and I do some hardcore WoW too. But be warned for spoilers for the videos then. Anyways, stay fishing, friends, and I'll see you in my next episode of FishLocked.